Hi everybody, this is Kate Halloman. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're here for the first time. Today is day 2 of the 100-day project. You can check it out if you have never joined. It's a really fun way to be creative and stick to something, work on your projects, and it's really fun. This is not my first time doing it, but it's been a couple of years since the last time. And so this year I decided that for my 100 days I was going to do 10 different categories and 10 paintings per theme. So my first theme is portraits. I did one yesterday, you can check it out, and today I'm going to do another portrait. And if you'd like to join me or simply be inspired by all of this, grab your watercolor paper, some watercolor paints, water, paper towel, and some round brushes. Also grab a pencil for some of the pre-sketching, and that's really all that's going to be. And today I'm going to be doing another more simplistic illustrative portrait with some flowers, and so I hope that you have fun and tag along. As usual, I'm starting with a circle, split it in half, and do a very simple face shape. I'm not going to do a full anatomy class today, so it's going to be really simple, and the goal is that it will be fun and relaxing. So that's what we're going to do. Nose. This is where the lips are gonna be. Eyebrows. Today we're gonna do open eyes. Yesterday I did closed eyes, but it's time for some open eyes. Sketch is very simple. I'm not going to do a lot of details. This is where some of the flowers are going to be. Very simple way of creating a layout. Don't worry too much about perfection. This can be very loose, very just sort of there. Just have fun with it. Okay, I'm not even necessarily thinking about real flowers, just different flower shapes. And what you hear in the background is my guinea pig drinking. Some loose hairs. Some leaves. And little branches. Did something similar yesterday, so sort of keeping in the same style. Gonna add a very thin neck. Today I'm in a little bit of a hurry, so I'm sorry I'm not going to be talking through the whole process. There we go. A little bit of that. So as you can see, I'm just sort of filling out all these empty spaces with more flowers and branches. There we go. Pretty simple. All right, 7-minute sketch. Do take an eraser just to erase some of these helping lines so they're not so dreadfully visible under your watercolor paint. I usually don't worry about these lines everywhere else, but it's definitely nice to have the face be clean of them, so this is where it's a good idea to do that. Also right here under the clothes, unless you want the fabric to be more sheer, and then it does make sense to leave some of those lines there. It does help with that effect. All right, very simple yet again. And for the start, I'm going to start with the skin tone. And where's my color? Here we go. This is actually white, but it's already kind of discolored because I add brown and a little bit of red in here. And this is usually how I create my skin tone for all of my portraits. So I like to make my paint very creamy in the beginning. And as you can see, if you can see it, I'm not sure if it's very visible in the video, the more you put water in it, the more white it becomes as well. So then you really need to, you're sort of cleaning it. So of course it becomes more white. So you want to get it to that creamy state, and then you want to add brown. And then a little bit of red. That's plenty. And I like to start simply, very simply, with outlining the face. And the eyes from the top, the bridge of the nose, the nostrils and the bottom of the nose right there. It looks wider now, but that's okay. And the corners of the mouth and right here under the lip. Same goes for the ears. Sometimes I forget to do the ears and then I do them at the very end and I don't get the color right, so then they are a slightly different color. And I know ears can be red or something, but for the sake of keeping it as unified as possible, I'll do your ears right away. And the neck as well. The neck tends to need more color here. And it's very easy to miss the color if you start doing something else and then come back to it later. A little bit of collarbone here. All right. And now, very simple, clean your brush, wipe it a little, and from the center where there's the most light, start washing out the color of the edges, on the edges. I'm sorry if I say things wrong. Sometimes that happens. I hope I'm making sense most of the time. So you do want to create a gradient where you put these outlines. You don't want to necessarily wash it out completely. So follow along these shapes. Don't just go over with your wet brush because that can take away too much. You want to blend. Here's the nose. Go ahead, do a circle. And then with a not very wet brush, wash that out upward. It's like contouring makeup, kind of, you know? Okay, same goes for the neck. Always follow along these lines so that you don't lose where the paint creates that line. You want to soften it up, but if you go over it in the other direction, it might just disappear completely or just make it a little too messy. And if there is an area that is too dark, you can clean your brush, dry it a bit, not completely, and then lift the paint. That is also a nice thing that watercolors allow you to do. Okay, I need to do the arms, and again, I don't want to forget where I was, and as you can see, as soon as I get back into the paint, I'm basically cleaning it and it becomes too light. So again, I have to go back to pick up my brown. There we go. Hope you see it a little bit more. That's better. Wash it because I don't want to get my red dirty. And and then pick up a little bit of red. And there we go. There's my color. Now I'm going to do the arms. Same thing, outlines, a little bit over here where the shadow would be. Same thing on the other side. If I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video and catch up if you're painting along completely. You can also give yourself a lot of freedom to sort of just be inspired and do your own thing, and then just occasionally take a peek. For me, choosing the 100-day project is really a way to stick with daily painting and create little collections. So at the end of the whole project, I will actually have 10 thematic collections, and I think it'll be really nice to look at that at the end and see how I did and what the results are. And you can use it the same way. And if you've never done a single collection, this is a really great opportunity to create something unified. And just like with these portraits, I will be honest, I don't think ahead too much about how different I want them to be and the kind of a variety I want to bring. The style is pretty much always the same. It's a girl, she has flowing hair, there's flowers, maybe a small fashion element to it. And whatever pose I come up with in the moment, that's what it's gonna be. They actually might, some of them might end up being a little similar, but I will always, I mean, every drawing is different. I used to want to animate, and that would definitely bring me closer to being able to make my characters be the same. But I can't do that. So, this is what I do. There we go. I will add a little bit up here and up here. And again, with a clean, oops, slightly wet brush, go in and wash it out a little. Okay, this area I'll check in a very bad way, but I'll check this way. It's dry, so I can go ahead and do the lips, and you can use any color you want. I like to make them red. Definitely use your smaller brush here because you don't want to go over too much. Smaller brush does allow you better control. Leave a little circle in the middle. Wash your brush, dry it, and then go lift some paint off the sides. There we go. Nice little shine. And this is also dry, so I'm going to go do the eyebrows. and they're too dark right now, so I will go back and with a dry brush lift carefully some of that color. You could also use paper towel carefully to do the same thing. And today, let's see, I'm gonna go with blue eyes. And I will use this palette. I have a few because every single one of my palettes has different circles that are used up more or less. It used to be white, it's a little blue, so I will use that to my benefit right now. But I will wash it out a little bit in here. This is what it's good for. I actually never knew what this was for until I saw somebody else do this in their video, so yay YouTube! I learn a lot as well. I enjoy it. We'll go back, pick up a little bit of the darker tone, and add it at the top. There. And with a dry brush, blend a little bit. There. Now I'm gonna wait for this to dry before I go in to do eyelashes, because I don't want the black to go into the blue. So let's see. You know, I like contrast early on in my painting. So yeah, I'm gonna do black and white stripes over here. So I'm gonna go ruin my water here. I'll have to go get clean water later, but that's okay. I'm gonna go for this. Oh. These little hairs, oh man. You don't want them there because they will make a mess around your lines, and when you want them clean and they're not clean, it can be frustrating. I'm outlining because it's going to be easier to color it in. I do like to draw lines a lot. So much so that I have drawn hundreds of portraits only as line art. Those have become adult coloring books actually. I will link that in my in the description of the video. I have self-published through Amazon, through KDP, a few different titles. Because when I draw just for fun, it's usually portraits. And I do have a lot of fun drawing people, drawing hair, drawing their eyes, drawing, earrings as well, so I've had so many drawings, and then somebody else said, hey, can we color that in? I'm like, let's do it. So I actually created 2 coloring books already that are full of portraits of women. And if you actually like to practice your coloring and shading, and skin tones and all of that, you might actually benefit from those books, because I think they are really good for that as well. And I haven't tried a bunch of different mediums on the pages of those books to test out the quality of the pages, but they are one-sided. All of the illustrations are just one-sided, so you never sacrifice a drawing on the other side. And if any marker or whatever you use, if it bleeds through, then it's safe. So if you want to check it out, you can. And if you do, let me know in the comments. It's fun to know when somebody did purchase something from me, and definitely makes me feel happy that it benefits somebody, in their art journey, and it can help them and stuff like that. So whether it is for your learning or just to help you relax, that is all great. We can move towards the flowers. And I got myself almost clean cup, but I got new water. And I'm gonna start with the lightest color, which is yellow. And that way I can progressively keep going as far as it lets me before I have to change my water again. Maybe I'll try yellow over here. Maybe it's gonna be nicer. All of my yellows are dirty. I must have went in with a green brush. Oh no. Keep your stuff clean. It'll benefit you in your painting process. So there we go. Pulling a little bit of the water out of it does help the color to be lighter and nicer. All right, let's see where else. Over here. And over here. Very simple. I'm gonna progress towards orange. There we go, that's better. I'll have to pause here because my guinea pigs are yelling for food. Not that they don't have any. One moment. Alright, I'm back. There we go. That's nice too. Easier with a bigger brush. Now, red. I don't have a lot of red, so hopefully this will be enough for a couple more paintings. I'll probably have to go buy a new palette. I mean, it's almost gone. All right. I like how it's filling up with color. It's looking better and better. And green, let's see. That one doesn't have any green, but this one does. I'll bring the water closer, just in case I don't want to drip into the painting. It does happen. When you press down on a round brush, you can really use the shape of it, the stamp, so nicely. So you don't have to draw everything and color it in like you would with colored pencils. You can simply press, twist a little, and lift. It's very nice. I like it a lot. And all that noise. If you have guinea pigs, you know already. Guinea piggy is drinking water. As you can see, I'm not exactly following perfectly the outlines of these leaves. I only drew that to have the layout, and then I'm letting the brush do its own job. It is much more relaxing than trying to do it perfectly the way I drew it, and I highly recommend it. Let go of the need to do it perfect and have fun and relax. Now for the stems, this is a pretty big brush, and you can see some lines are thinner, some are thicker. If this is a hard thing for you to do, definitely opt for a thinner brush. It will help. But most of all, make sure that you are having a good time. Even if it's challenging, make sure that it's a positive challenge that you feel good about, facing and conquering and learning something, so that at the end of the painting time you leave refreshed and encouraged rather than frustrated. That's not how art should ever be. So if you need to take a break or make coffee and then bring coffee, go ahead, pause the video, go do that. None of this is meant to be frustrating. So make sure that you are in the right headspace for this. And I know that for some people, painting and art is where they get to a better place in their mind, and they can let go and relax and just, empty their mind and fill it with all good things. And for some people, the process of this can be the total opposite, and it can be a frustration. So just make sure that you are handling that the right way, and this is bringing you a positive experience. So if you want to do this, do it in a way with your breaks or coffee or tea or a cookie or an apple, whatever is going to help you feel better. Go ahead and do that. Bring it to the table. I don't know about you, but art for me is where I can really, really relax, because my mind is always thinking non-stop, and sometimes it's like the CPU. It's too much and it feels like the computer's gonna crash. And when I paint, all of that stops. And there's just peace. And so for me, I really do love art because it really helps me to relax. And it helps the stress go away, and it helps me to be able to focus. So during art, typically, I would be listening to a podcast, to audio Bible, or an audiobook, something that is which is really good for me, you know, good for my heart, good for my soul, something that helps me to learn about something important, because I can focus so much better and I can remember things so much better when my mind is relaxed. And so art is the perfect way to do that. Hopefully it's the same for you and you can use art for such a purpose as well. There we go, one more. And we're done with all the greens. Before I finish the hair, let's see, that one doesn't have a lot of black. This palette does. I'm gonna finish the centers of these flowers. These are gonna be black, and the pupils and the eyelashes. Now, if you're trying to paint something very, very fine, very small with black, it's better after you dip into your color to wipe your brush a little bit so that there isn't excess of paint, especially with watercolor that can drip. Because you might want to just paint a little dot, but it might make a much bigger circle and you might not want that. So wipe your brush a little bit. There will be enough paint on it still, so it's not going to be an issue. And then gently press and lift. Now, with all of this, I think I'm going to add, just with brown, actually, tiny eyelashes on the bottom eyelid. I think that'll help a little bit. So I will paint the line. space them out more. Keep them short. So my phone died halfway through painting. So I finished the hair without recording, but here you see what it looks like. And so this is the finished portrait illustration. Of course, you can color the hair any color that you choose, if you choose to use this as an inspiration for your own painting time. And so I hope that you enjoyed today's video. This is number 2 of the 100-day project that I'm working on, and the first category of 10 portraits. So thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to know more. And thank you, and have a great day. Bye, everybody.